Hello, I am Benjamin John Pope, and this is the first video to the media blogs that I'm going to be creating and providing on my YouTube channel and my website. In this first subject today, I wanted to talk about the Adobe software. And a long time ago, it started out as Adobe Premiere. I started using it, Adobe Premiere, I think it was 5.0 or 6.0. That was a long time ago, and a good 20 years ago. About 15, 16 years ago. And it's advanced to basically creating applications that are all about media. So, for example, if you wanted to edit footage, you'd use Adobe Video Editing, in other words. You'd use Adobe Premiere. If you wanted to create a website, you'd use Adobe Dreamweaver. And Adobe Dreamweaver wasn't Adobe until the late 90s and the early 2000s. It used to be Macromedia Dreamweaver. It used to be Macromedia Dreamweaver, and it also used to be Macromedia Flash Professional. Macromedia Flash is one of my favourite applications. I've been using it near enough all its lifetime, and eventually Adobe bought the software. It creates dynamic content for the web, it creates animations, it creates artwork, and now it's used to make applications, etc., etc. And it went from a Macromedia Flash 8 Professional, and then Adobe bought the software from Macromedia at a price I'm not 100% sure on. Let's type it in to find out. How much did Adobe pay for Macromedia Flash? Adobe buys Macromedia for 3.4 billion. That's a good thing to read about to understand the presence Macromedia had. Macromedia and its software like Fireworks, Flash and Dreamweaver, they were all bought by Adobe, and now it's gone from Macromedia Flash to Adobe Flash to Adobe Animate. And that is what it turned into. It turned into Adobe Animate, which is still the same software but enhanced. So that's the history of Adobe Animate, and a brief history on Macromedia. But back in those days, it was about making animation in Macromedia Flash, and that is why its sole purpose mainly now as Adobe Animate is to create animations. But a lot of people used to upload it to atomfilms.com. It's Atom Films, and everyone used to upload. I remember Atom Films Little Ninja. Is it still available? I don't really know. This is going back in the past now. This is if you watch this, Little Ninja, this was one of the best animations made in that time. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved it and watched it a few times, and it's still going by the looks of things, which is absolutely brilliant to find out, because I haven't gone to this website for a good 8 years. So write that down, Adobe, type in Atom Films Little Ninja and watch that animation. It's absolutely brilliant. So after development of Macromedia, changing into Adobe Photoshop and Adobe After Effects mixed with Premiere, and then buying up the Macromedia stuff, made Adobe brilliant enough to make you join a creative cloud which allows you to create all types of web media, video and every media basically with applications. And it was brilliant growing up and experiencing all the different types and methods of creating. And my advice, if you want to be a creator of media on a PC, I would definitely learn about the Adobe software. So, the Adobe software eventually became what I use. I use Adobe Flash still and Adobe Animate, but I don't know why I do that. I use Adobe Flash Professional CS6 sometimes. I don't know why, I just haven't really attempted the code in Animate yet, which I will get around to, but it runs on ActionScript sometimes. ActionScript is for Adobe Flash, and that started out as ActionScript 2.0. So you had normal ActionScript, you had ActionScript Adobe Flash History. If you type in this, ActionScript was originally developed by the company Macromedia that created a Macromedia Flash, the multimedia software platform that can be used to develop interactive video games, which it can do. It can create video games for applications, etc. And applications, Adobe acquired Macromedia in 2005, and Macromedia Flash became known as Adobe Flash. And ActionScript 3 was released by Adobe. But let's just type in Flash web games. The 20 best internet Flash games, from Dom to Strict Cricket. From Doom, not Dom. I've read it wrong then, quite funny. But Flash creates games like this, and that's a brief history. But let's talk about some other software like Illustrator and Encore, because Adobe Encore is something that's good enough on your PC to create dynamic, professional DVDs. Now, it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's amazing. And I've been using that since Encore 1.0, but it got... they stopped making it when it reached Adobe Encore 6.0. It actually got discontinued. Why, I don't know. But Encore, I still use it and think it's amazing. To be honest with you, if you didn't want to use the new software and keep getting updates and keep creating new stuff with new computers, then you should probably have a look at Adobe Creative Suite CS6 to have it as a hard copy, because that basically, they used to sell the CD to the Creative Suite, which is every bit of the software of Adobe, for like £6,000. Or now you can join the Creative Cloud and have it for like £50 a month. But if you want the hard copy, you want to get CS6, because I'm sure that's the only way you can get that now. Yeah, so I ended up creating loads of cool stuff, and I created digital artwork, I created videos, I've created idents, which is animated logos. I've learned how to code with ActionScript. I know HTML, and at this point in my life, I'm going on to studying a foundation degree in PHP and JavaScript to make my computer manipulation and development of software and applications a lot more wider, a lot more detailed, and just more information to put into my mind to become even more professional at what I do. It's definitely the next step for me. But like I said, check out the Adobe site, www.adobe.com. Check out the YouTube videos, check out my videos, check out all information on the history of the stuff I talked about. And it's really interesting, and it's really, really good to have that knowledge of understanding the development of the software so you can develop with it, you know. Thank you for listening.